Happy New Year from DCRTV. Welcome to 2013. Big whoop. Whoopie doop. We start out the year, what was it? Nate Silver. Nate Silver who did the, all the election predictions, got them all right, beat Gallup and all those other things. He had a good quote this past year. He said something like, media reporters are either the best or the worst journalists at their newspaper. And I think in the Washington-Baltimore area, they tend to be the worst. Let's start out. The style section today. It's like, we're cool, we're hip. This stupid in-out column, they do on every New Year's Day. It's just, this paper is just old, boring, and predictable and dull. Oh, we're hip. We're the hipsters' paper. Ooh. Man. Interesting. What is it? Another one of Paul Furry's kind of recycled columns. Stuff that kind of storm names, whip up debate by Paul Furry. The Weather Channel months ago announced that it was going to start naming the storms. And, of course, the National Weather Service doesn't like that. They call it the snowstorm Fred or something, like they name, the National Weather Service names hurricanes. Well, they were going to start naming big storms. And, of course, a lot of, it's stirred up a controversy. And, of course, it's months-old controversy. This is a story that could have been written 3 months ago. And then, of course, what Paul always does is, just to make it relevantly local, you throw in one or two little references to local weathermen. And, of course, we have a little reference that WJLA's Bob Ryan dismissed it as a gimmick. Well, that's months old. This is old stuff. This is recycled. This column could have been written in September and sat in his, jeez. And then, of course, the one thing I really, really hate, that one of my pet peeves of newspaper journalists is when they quote their own, people from their own paper. And, of course, Paul Furry, does the big blunder today in this piece where he quotes Jason Samanow, whatever, of the Washington Post's Capital Weather Weenies blog. It's pick up the phone, dial downstairs to the weather department. It's like I always find that to be one of the a glaring admission of a lazy journalist. When, let's say, I got to interview someone for this story. I know what, I'll interview someone down in the business section or over in the weather department at the newspaper. That's lazy. So Paul good year for Paul, starting out on with an old recycled piece of crap story with a reference to JLA's Bob Ryan, or why didn't he call Bill Ward? He seems to always call someone over at Channel 7. I guess those are the only people that'll talk to him anymore. And a quote from someone who also works at his paper. I don't know. I was talking to Jerry Edwards the other day. That was one of Paul Furry's big breaking news stories earlier, a couple months ago. Paul reported that Jerry Edwards, who used to be based here in Washington doing traffic reports, now is in Sarasota. Now he does, Florida, and he does traffic reports for WAMU in the morning from Florida. He gets the information on his computer and, real-time stuff where you can pretty much get it anywhere. You can be at a studio in Northwest D.C. You could be in your home studio down in Florida, and you get the information, and you have a satellite web link or whatever to your station, and you can do that. It's done all the time. It's no big deal, but Paul Furry, it's just, breaking scandalous news that, Jerry Edwards is doing traffic reports for Florida for Washington, where you don't know where the traffic, the traffic reporter on your local TV station may be in New York, you don't know. And it's just, with technology today, it's no big deal. As long as they get the information correct, who cares where the traffic reporter is? And that was this big breaking story. And I asked Jerry the other day, how did it affect him? And he goes, nobody paid any attention to it. That's kind of what the Post is today, especially the style section. Nobody pays any attention to it. It's irrelevant. And WMAL, it's irrelevant. We're all irrelevant. Okay, so talking about another of one of my favorite media folks is Davey Zurwick here. Okay, so the Zurwick over at the Baltimore Sun breaks the news. He breaks the news. New year, new jobs for Anita Marks. New job for Anita Marks. She's joined the NBC Sports Network, and it was his article yesterday, the 31st of December. You know, that news came out like 3 weeks ago. DCRTV had it on a couple weeks ago that Anita was starting a new job for NBC Sports Radio, which of course won't be carried in the local area. But you wonder, and there's one comment on it, and you're going, oh, man, this guy's in his own loony little universe. Most of the stuff he ignores. We broke big news yesterday about big changes over there at 105.7 Baltimore Sports Talker. Some lineup changes. David doesn't bother carrying it. Or, maybe he couldn't source it from CBS and he didn't want to quote DCRTV because we're the arch nemesis, so he just ignored it. Doesn't matter. This is why this is why Paul Farhi and David Zurwick are not great journalists by any means. I mean, I'm telling you, man. And then the other thing that really bumps you with this is, okay, Zurwick does have a little claim to fame. He goes on Howard Kurtz's Reliable Source show there on CNN, and he does, he's hobnobbing with the Washington elite. And, so he does this article for Daily Download, Zurwick does. Chelsea Clinton, still NBC's pretend journalist. Okay, we get it, Dave. We get it. He slammed Chelsea Clinton earlier this year when NBC hired her, and got to question whether that's a good move or not. And then he just kind of rehashes it and puts this thing on Daily Download and gets a good amount of comments, far more comments than he would ever get on an article in that Baltimore Sun rag. Like 400 comments here, and they're usually the drudge bombers, the drudge kooks. This is the kind of crap I have to deal with. Okay, so let's go to Fishbowl, DC. Let's see if I'm still up there. This is the first of the year, right? The 1st of January. And I'm on Fishbowl DC's front page, if the page will ever load. And then we go all the way down to the bottom. And look at that. I'm still there. This article was penned. Am I even on this thing? Yeah, there I go. This article was put up there on the 21st, and today's the 1st. So that's how many days? How many days? See, that's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st. 12 days. I've been on the front page of Fishbowl DC for 12 days. For 12 days. They hate me. But they put me on their front page for 12 days. That's got to be a record. I've never been on Fishbowl DC's front page for 12 days. Ooh, what's wrong with them? Okay. So, a new year. What's happened in Washington media this year? I don't know. The one thing I just keep thinking, I was reading in the one of the trade publications the other day, Vancouver, British Columbia, big market there north of Seattle, has just got its 3rd AAA station. AAA is Adult Album Alternative. It's like a rock station for adults, playing a lot of cool stuff. It's not just headbanging stuff, but they play a lot of. It's like Boston has a station called The River. It's kind of an adult-oriented rock station. Okay, it's AAA, and they play a lot of cool stuff. We have a couple little stations in the area that play that. It's 103.1 WRNR FM there in Annapolis, which barely gets its signal into Prince George's County. There's a WTMD College Station, Towson University up there in Baltimore. Smallish stations with weakish signals. We don't really have a really good Washington or Baltimore AAA station, okay? Commercial, big signaled station. So if you live here in Northern Virginia, you can't get WRNR, you can't get WTMD very well. I mean, you can listen to them on the internet, but it's not like a big signal station that you can get in your car radio. And Vancouver has 3 of these stations. 3 of them. Washington has none. You know, somebody needs to flip a signal here in Washington in 2013 and give us a really cool AAA station. Could it be Cumulus on 105.9? Could it be CBS on 107.9 or 94.7 or something? Or maybe Cumulus on 107.3. Finally put RQX to rest. I don't know. It would be cool if somebody in the Washington market would give us a cool AAA outlet. That's one format that we just don't really have here in the Washington market, and it would be mighty cool to get it in 2013. We almost got it back in 2007 with the Globe. You know, remember CBS started that kind of really interesting little rock station there on 94.7, the Globe, WTGB, and for a year or so it was quite a cool little station, and then they over-consulted it to death and it died, and Fresh was born out of its ashes. But still, I think it could have been a really cool station if they had taken my advice and programmed it the way I thought. They had some cool people. They had Weasel and Surf over there, and just a wonderful station. And it's just, you know, it's sad in Washington, you know, innovative little rock stations like that just don't seem to go. You know, people over-consult them. You know, they need to listen to me. Instead, we're stuck with DC-101. DC-101's a good station. I like it, you know, but it's a Clear Channel cookie cutter, you know, and you know, it's okay. Clear Channel cookie cutter. They're fine, you know, good, not bad little stations, but there's nothing really stupendous about them, you know. All right, folks, thanks for watching Dave TV on January 1, 2013. I hope I get the year right. I'll be calling it 2012 for quite a while. I know. And thanks for being here. And oh, wow, another year has come and gone. And we made it to Fiscal Cliff. You know, I almost think that what Fiscal Cliff, that should be a slang term for a sex act. Oh, me and the missus just did the Fiscal Cliff last night. Took it over the Fiscal Cliff. Hey, have a good one. And well, I'm gonna change it. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for cigars.